Thank you.
Don't talk. You're not muted.
What?
All right, good morning. You guys ready to, let's do it. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind. Up this morning with my mind
Welcome home, everybody.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you. Welcome home, everybody. We're home, right?
Yep.
Where are we home at? Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley. Yes, somebody actually knows. I'm impressed. So, welcome. And do we have a slide for the drum circle thingy? Every third Friday, there's a drum circle. Apparently, we just had one, and it was a great success. We raised money. People from the community came and had a great time. And that's what it's all about. Another slide. Wow. Ooh, Reverend Stephen has a class. There's sign-ups out in the lobby. And so if you want to get up and dash out and sign up at any time during the service, except when Sue's talking, of course, it's okay with me, or when Shery's singing, then never mind. You're at your own discretion. Do what you want. What else we got? Our mission and vision statement. This is why we're here, right? So let's read this together. We're a community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God. In gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do. Now, of course, that here's what we do is just a leftover from when you used to run announcements now and say all the things that are going on. But it's morphed. And so now I'm going to give us our opening treatment. So I invite you to settle in and relax and know that there's only one thing going on. There is only Spirit. Spirit is here. God is in the house, expressing as each of us, through each of us. We are each the eyes and ears, the hands and feet of the divine presence in this plane of existence. And we are here to celebrate. We are here to learn. We are here to be in community. We are here to just be. So with great gratitude for this center, for this building, for this teaching, for our teachers, for everybody who helps make this thing happen today, we give thanks. We are so grateful, so appreciative. And from this place of gratitude and appreciation, we release this word into the law, and the law always says yes. And so we accept this, and we do this when we say, and so it is.
Please stand and join our congregational song. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friend, Spirit. Thank you for my friend. Thank you for my friend, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
We have an intention, because we know that we are in here to be in service to our community, and that includes the children. because we know that what we think about is what we get. And we want to teach that to the children so that they can live wonderful, amazing lives. And we start that by thinking about how they're all here. Ready? Okay, there we go. So our affirmation today, I'll read it through once, and then we'll all say it together. I am enlivened and impelled to move from contemplating divine love's presence into being its human power in action. So together, I am enlivened and impelled to move from contemplating divine love's presence into being its human power in action. So my reading today is from Practicing the Presence by Joel Goldsmith. That other name, you know me. What's in a name? I'm going to start over. My reading today is from Practicing the Presence by Joel Goldsmith. From the moment that we were conceived as human beings, we have been under material and mental laws. We have been governed by laws of food, weather, climate, time, and space. Always, as human beings, we are under some law, whether it is a natural law or a law of biology or a law of theology. These are really universal beliefs, but they act as law to our experiences until we consciously realize our immunity from anything and anybody external to ourselves. Until we realize that the issues of life flow out from us. We are not the victims of anything external to ourselves. We are spiritual identity, not mortal beings. Our true identity is consciousness, spirit, soul. And therefore, we are not subject to the laws of matter. God is infinite law, and this being true, the only law is the law of God operating in our consciousness as a law of harmony unto our experiences. And so it is.
Thank you, Rob. Anyway, where there is a song.
There is a song. Is there a song?
Okay, no worries. All right, we're because of the storm, we're going to have a little bit of an abbreviated service today, so only 2 solo songs from me today, and I'm going to sing right now.
Perfect.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living for today. imagine no possessions. I wonder if we can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Thank you. Thank you.
Now let's go into that silent place, the God awareness place. It's never really totally quiet unless you're like in an isolation tank or something. But we can still quiet our minds, quiet our bodies, and get in touch with the divine within. So let's do that now for 3 minutes, and then Sherry will bring us out.
everywhere I am.
So I invite you to make meditation part of your daily spiritual life. And on Thursdays, John Bellis has a meditation here at the center that's really quite wonderful. So next, allow me to introduce Reverend Dr. Sue Rubin. She has been doing this since 1976, it said. I remember that date because it's like some anniversary of some other thing. She's traveled in different countries and started churches different places and been here in Westlake for a long time with Dr. Jim. And she's one of the great voices in our movement. So come on up and tell us what you got.
I will do that.
Right on.
First of all, Rob, let me set the record straight. Dr. Jim worked with me.
That's right.
So, you know, you could move together. We can work with what's going on in life. I mean, put back that water. That water can be calming or it can be tumultuous. Take your pick. And so it would appear that anybody went to the grocery stores, the markets yesterday? It was like COVID. The shelves were empty. Toilet paper, water, small water bottles. It's like, people, is that who we are? What have we been doing all these years? So make no mistake. Today I'm here to kick spiritual butt. And I thought, what better way to do that but by going to the Bible? I see everyone go, what? Picking up purses, sticking wallets in pants, leaving. Metaphysical interpretation. Remember, we used to do that at one point in our history. You know, it's really interesting that not only did CSL, and I'm sure other people, they just returned, or I should say returned to Asilomar. And anybody ever go to Asilomar? Yes, a beautiful place that we've all related to for so many years that Ernest Holmes started with. Did you lose something, Linda? You can never lose anything. There you go. You know, we don't have to just pretend things aren't happening.
Randy.
I think it's important to acknowledge. So not only that, but after Asilomar, there's a large group that is now at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago. And so the universe, as much as it would appear, is showing us somewhat limitations that we're experiencing not only collectively, but it has to happen personally in order in mind for that collective accumulation to produce what we're seeing. The fire in Lahaina, oh, come on, you know, if that doesn't tear your heart. And now what's going on here? A hurricane, a tropical storm in Southern California. What's up with that? So things are definitely revealing in the outer realm something that is coming to a collective point where there can and is a paradigm shift to that which acknowledges not the human, a mere mortal, therefore I am subject to all of this swirling around me, but rather the shift, because they're both the same. I've shown that, you know, that if you look at this, yeah, that's me being humanly firing all my cylinders and rushing to the market to make sure I don't starve over the course of 2 days. But the most important part of that is that we are divine in order to reveal our humanity, and our humanity is what we use to express our divinity. So if you stand in the middle of both without flip-flopping and fluctuating with great intensity, then you'll be right where we already have been, are now, and shall forevermore be. You know, it's interesting that in traditional prayer, or in saying namaste, we incline our head. That's not just something that somebody made up. You know, you could easily have done, that's it. We just prayed, which we do through song. But really, we are lowering the intellect to meet more compatibly with the heart, so that the feelings and the thoughts are not two separate areas that take off on their own, but rather it's all part of this integrative process where that which I am, thou art, that which thou art, I am. So I do a fair amount of periodically posting on my Facebook page. And so I just wrote one, and it was predominantly last night written about the idea. So here, as the storm approaches and all the intensity with which the meteorologists bite into it, like it's the most fragrant steak, juicy, with that glass of red wine. But I deviate. I'll come back. Charles Barker would do the same thing. He would start something, go off on a tangent, but then he'd always say, coming back. And so coming back, and I said in this writing, what if this is simply the outer manifestation of this somewhat quiet, inner, still small voice that's asking, so people, do you actually believe in the inevitability of this doom and gloom report that we're all going to be washed away? Well, you don't have to, and I don't have to. We are always at a point of choice. So, turning the reel back a couple of thousand years ago, and it's Jesus, the demonstration of the Christ consciousness, the God that he knew, call it Atman, Brahma, Abraham, Allah, whatever you want, infinite intelligence, universal mind, that he knew was who and what he was in all of its nature, love and creativity and calm and faith and conviction and the spontaneity with which love and intelligence work perfectly together, head and heart, inclining that intellect, which is so brilliant, so cumulative in all of the knowledge and information that it's developed over the course of time. And so Jesus had his moment when he decided, really not very specifically, it just all unfolded in a perfect pattern, that he would collect disciples and go off and tell the people that, hey, I'm not the exception, I'm the example of that which lives within yourself, that truly has the capacity to utilize the resources which already are right here, right now, within, through, and all around us. Infinite good is available to me now and at all times. Let's say that together. Infinite good is available to me now and at all times. And I would add, no matter what conditions prevail in the life that is showing us that there's something to be cleaned up here, individually and within our own interior worlds. It's just the way it is. Because the more of us that take this principle of life, that there is good in the universe, a power for this good, and I can use it. Well, I always add, we are using it every moment, all the time. But what I'm doing is choosing whether to access its goodness, its light, or to access its darkness and all the frailties of the human condition, which we're prone to, just as we already have divinity imbued within us, we also are prone to responding. So we are the keepers of the tribe, the faith keepers, those of us who are here, and it is therefore our responsibility and great joy to be able to reflect on that goodness and to make it more available through what? Through treating our minds spiritually. Because unless you and I consciously are aware that right where I am, God is, together, right where I am, God is. And all that God is, I am. And all that God is, I am. Again, God is all there is. God and I are one. And right where I am, all the qualities of the divine are. You know, we could do this the whole service. We'll just go like back and forth. Say after me, because maybe we would get it so that when we walk outside and the raindrops may or may not be falling lightly or heavily, we can go to that place. Because what I know for myself, and I saw it reflected in my fellow divine humans yesterday, we're all prone to fear. So here's Jesus collecting the disciples, 12 of them, and you know, particularly again brought out by the unity metaphysical tradition, the disciples, the 12 of them, all represented a certain quality: faith, intelligence, imagination, strength. And so Peter, one of the disciples, represented faith. And so Jesus has just fed the multitudes, meaning you don't need 5,000 loaves of bread to feed 5,000 people. You only need one. But if you look at it, knowing it's not bread, it simply is a representation of bread that comes from divine substance, the energy of love intelligence, with which if I know this one loaf has the capacity to keep increasing, it does. So the one loaf and the little innocent child who he called up to deliver the bread into his hands represented the innocence of, yeah, I believe. Tell me. And if it's a good thing, I'll go for it. Give me my toys. Give me love. Give me hugs. And there they are. But if I distance myself from this substance, this always available divine intelligence and love, energy, if I'm always moving it up from here in a greater way, it becomes a greater way of living for myself and for everyone. Because until I'm healed, no one's healed. Until you're healed, no one is healed. When we're all healed, we know that one person stood up and reminded us of all that we all really are. So he feeds the multitudes, and you'll notice, if you read a lot of Jesus' parables, which are all mental, psychological, and spiritual interpretations of the physical scene. That's all they are. So he goes and he prays because he's just demonstrated. And once he would demonstrate healings, which he did quite magnificently, he would either go up to the mountains or simply go quiet, go to sleep, and he would furnish and refurbish and replenish by his thoughts, by his awareness that God is, I am, and all that God is, I am. I am the creative urge come alive in the universe now, then, and always. And so he had the boat because they were going to be traveling on to other villages. But before he went up to the mountain to pray, he told the disciples, you take the boat and you go on, and I'll be there shortly. Well, he falls asleep for a prolonged period of time in which the storm rises. And by this time, the boat is carried far away from the shore. And so he thinks nothing of it. It's not, oh, damn, I've got to get to Target and load up. It's like, I know where to go. I take a brief respite. Maybe I suck in my breath no matter what's going on, which I did in Target yesterday. And I just said, God is, I am, and it's all good. So hurry and scurry. I'm not hurrying and scurrying with you. I'm not that young. I don't scurry that fast anymore. So he sees them. He goes, no big deal. And he walks on the water to them. And they're like frightened. It's like, what just happened? And so they say to him, Master, what do you know? I'm going to kind of do a little bit of editing here. What do you know that we don't know? That you could quiet this tumultuous storm? And he says, "Oh, ye of little faith, have courage. Come on, boost what you know you are. What do you think I've been teaching all these years? What do you think this is all about? Just a laugh for the good times and they get better? No, it's for the human bad times and they get worse. What are you going to do? You're going to remain unchanged." He didn't quite say all that. But basically, the thing to remember, "Oh, ye of little faith, why did you doubt?" Why do we doubt that the meteorological reports have to be as drastic and devastating as they are? We don't. First of all, if you were a scientist, you know by the time winds and water comes down or up, it is a system that is subject to change. So are you, so am I, so are we. We can change the trajectory. Remember the original, little gimmick that you were supposed to go out, lie on the grass, look up at the clouds, and start moving them? Through the power of your own mind, taking different shapes and forms. That's what we do. We are movers of energy. And before you and I enter or leave any room, we are shape shifters, if you will, changing the shape of form because we've changed, first and foremost, the shape of our own thoughts and deepest beliefs. Okay, so in another scenario, he made his point, if you have a little faith, you'll have a little demonstration. But if you are of greater faith, and you know that through my knowing there is safety, and there is reason and purpose, all of which I do not see at this moment, but I'll get it as I grow, as I develop, and as I realize and embody more of the divine that I am, so that all human conditions really become the energy game. That's all we're doing. I'm changing the way I'm directing. If I walk into a room where I know, because it's predictable, because the collective belief is if it's too stormy, I'm not coming to church, to synagogue. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to lock in, close the windows, and drink. No, not really. No, I didn't mean that. Not true, not true. So, on another occasion, he also has been going around to the villages healing in every which way. The blind, the sick, the dead, lifting them, doing all of his knowing that God is right where I am, and all that God is, I am, have always been, and shall forevermore be. When I know it, when I sense it, when I feel it, when I embody it with the full intensity of my being, then it's there. And the winds calm. Because as in that first illustration, in the second one, it's so fascinating to me that everything, if you see it, represents this invisible quality of either faith or doubt, and how it does manifest. We see it in our own lives. So on another occasion, they all get in the boat, and it takes off to get to wherever they're going. And Peter must have been ruminating on that past experience of Jesus walking on the water. So in this instant, he says, "Master, command me. I want to walk on the water. I want to do what you have proven can be done." And he does. Jesus gives him the go, man, go. And so he gets out of the boat, walks on water, starting his return to the boat, when suddenly the waves kick up again. The storm becomes very heavy again, and he is now shifting his focus from looking at and remembering the outer teacher, pointing him to the inner teacher, and he sinks. And he says, help me, Master. And of course, Jesus probably rolled his eyes, doesn't say, and extended his hand and says, get it. He says, where was your courage? I mean, why did you doubt, O ye of little faith? And the disciple, Peter, says, well, how do you do that? How do you command the sea and the wind? How do you do that? And he just keeps remembering and reminding them, God is, I am. All that God is, I am. And I just don't use it for special occasions. I use it all the time. It's a consistency. It's my life. So the bottom line is, let's not so easily fall prey to the conditions and to the collective reaction. My God, is there any shortage of headlines over the past course of time, be it environmentally, be it politically, be it economically, be it injustice related to sexual preferences? It's just rampant. And the sad thing is that so many people are following along with these false theories. But the truth is, if more of us took more of this into an ever greater, deeper, look, the stuff is infinite, meaning we're never going to get all of it, but by God, we can get more of it day by day in every way. And so why not live from that place where if someone says, oh my God, you're not traveling, are you? Case in point, my youngest son and his wife are traveling back from San Francisco, and they live in San Bernardino County. And so I think they got on the road like at 4 o'clock this morning, because, you know, after all, he's heading into it. It's fine where they are now, but he's coming into it. And yet he is my youngest, and there's quite an age difference between his sister, who's in the middle, and my firstborn child, who's my firstborn was the first. Did you know that? Thought I'd reinforce it. So, but he was at home when my other 2 kids were out of the home. They were already out on their own. And so he would hear me when I was studying, back in the 70s, with Dr. Tom Johnson. Anybody? 2. Dr. Tom used to do that. Remember, raise your hand. Oh, 2 of you believe in God. Thanks. Thanks a lot. And so he would hear me on the phone working with practitioners in order to obtain my license. And so by the time one person used to call pretty often, by the time she would call, he'd pick up the phone, and then he'd yell, Mom, it's Mary Cross, I think was her name. Very interesting name, right? So what's the point? What's the point of it all? The point is to live a life that is ever freer, ever less conditioned, ever less reactive, and far more responsive to catching that breath, and rather than letting the entire body, along with the thought and the fear, contract us, to open up in those moments, take that deep breath, and know that right where I am, there is something that indeed is, when I so declare it and enroll and enlist others to join me in being faith keepers of the tribe, that can truly command the winds and the waters to lessen, to keep everybody safe and secure wherever they are, whatever they're doing, on the sea, in the air, in the car, or at home, and to trust and have faith, so that when these things occur, no matter where we are and people are expressing their fear and therefore hurrying and scurrying to protect themselves, against life? You can't protect yourself against life, but you can move with it in harmony with the way that it moves. And so that's why we're here, and why we continue to study, and oftentimes pretty it up with social activities, so that we break bread together, because we want to take the divine into very human, everyday living experiences. And so wherever you are, if you'll just capture the moment and not let the fears take over, then there is something that happens, because particularly where 2 or more are gathered, and maybe that 2 or more are symbolic of taking your divinity into where it belongs, which is to be expressed through your human attitude, perception, and way of living. So that's the story. It's always been, it is now, and it always will be, that right where we are, call it what you will, you are the epitome. You are the incarnation of the Most High God. And I do realize for myself and all, there are greater ways for us to prove that and to really put it into action, to lift the world that we're all living in and experiencing, and to calm the seas of those raging fears and anger and alienation and divisiveness and limitation. You name it. It's part of the human condition. And we don't want it to destroy the very thing that we all have privy, access, and availability to, which is the living presence of that which is of great faith, so that when we are in that boat and the storm is heavy, or on our way home in our car and the storm is heavy, we can lighten the aftermath and soften the landing by simply knowing, I'm okay. Remember that book, I'm okay, you're okay? Let's add, I'm okay, you're okay. Because I didn't want you to do that, but by all means, be my guest. No. See, that's the problem. We are all on road. What if I said, let's repeat this, and someone in the audience would say, no, I know that. I don't have to repeat it. I live it every day. I go, hallelujah, brother, oh ye of great faith. And that's the way it really is. Okay. So in order to take what we've just so patiently, most of us, sat through and listened to, enough with that. Shake a leg. That's it, right where you are, and take this into embodiment together. I am enlivened and impelled to move from contemplating divine love's presence into being its human power in action. And that's the way it really is. Duet. Stay, duet. Stay, down, girl, down.
There's a silence in the stillness of the Holy, Holy Spirit. Oh, what a light God is being, and I will see it everywhere. I will be everywhere.
So it's the truth. When I take that moment to deep breathe and to listen and to ask that silent question, what is there from me that is being asked to give as me? What is it that I can contribute to freeing myself from all fear, doubt, and worry, and to developing an immediacy with which I respond to any and all human conditions by calming those raging waters and turbulent seas of storm and wind, by reminding myself right where I am, God is, and all that God is, I am.
I am listening to the music of the Holy, Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is singing, and I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long.
So I believe that the song that the universe is singing is that which says, come unto me, dance with me. Maybe there'll be a slow waltz. Maybe it's a fast cha-cha. Maybe it's a tango where every movement and every motion is harmoniously attuned with the rhythm and sound of the universe. What if I don't fight, resist, fear, worry, and doubt? What if I truly put myself where it's happening, and in the midst of it all say, I am one with a power that, while it includes yet transcends any and all turbulent seas and windy shores, because God is that which I am, and all that God is, I am, for God and I are one.
I am moving to the rhythm of the Holy Spirit. This chance of life, God inspired, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong.
Ah, I hear it. I hear my faith is strong, and it's strengthened in this very instant and from this point forward, because I give up the resisting and insisting I do my own dance when I see the rhythm and harmony of life is moving to a different beat. And so I join the divine beat, and I humanly experience myself as a power to be reckoned with, where I surprise and delight myself in the world as I move out into its everyday activities, beaming with what is my secret, and yet it is that which is shared with all. Know you not that ye are the temples of the living God? O ye of great faith, you are magnificent manifestations of that which God is: love, truth, beauty, intelligence, creativity, spontaneity, that which is peace, joy, faith, and conviction. Carry on, O keepers of the faith of the tribe.
And so it is.
And so it is. Yes? Yes? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That was church.
Yeah.
That is the charge.
So speaking of church, the ways to support the church. You can go to the website. You can use text. You can call the office. You can send in a check. Lots of different ways to do it. And this is how we affirm.
Yes.
Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for the world, Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley, and me now. Divine love prevails. So, when I'm up here doing what we're calling the abundance blessing, I'm not doing it alone. It's all of us. So we know that this center is blessed in what it does and who it helps and how it helps. And we're so grateful to be part of it. And so it is.
So it is. Okay, we got one more song. Please join in. You know this song. Hold on. 118. Big 2. Thank you, girls.
So I want to thank everybody who made this thing happen today. So I'm going to start with all the butts in the seats. Right? And then all the people watching at home, hello.
Hello.
I'm sure there's more there than usual right now. And let's see, we've got Pat and Greg Schaefer, Lisa Cavalieri, Deborah Owen, Greg and Colin up in the booth, Kathy Bird on slides, Sherry doing our music, and the Soul Purpose Band, Steve Fowler, Bob Townley, Randy Jones, Layne Taylor, and Sheryl Robinson Collins. Our audio tech, a new position, Tony Goff.
Yay.
And office support, Sheryl and Layne, and our practitioner and host, oh, that would be me.
Yay.
So,
And our guest speaker.
Yes, of course. Guest sneaker? Was that the guest sneaker?
Yeah, the guest speaker.
Yay! Is there a way to stop you? I didn't think so.
So, you can all do it. You've got a fantastic first. I was looking at the act. I mean, my God.
And go on the website. There's more.
Over the top. How can I help? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do to prove my inner world is dynamically, vibrantly alive, and now I want to give it out? It's meant to be expressed. So be grateful and be forth and multiply the consciousness of the all good at all times, which is right where you are. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. So if you want a good thing to invite people over to, there's a pool party, I hear, next week after service.
My God.
And so you can sign up out in the lobby.
And sign up to, we're going to, the main meal will be provided, but to fill in with the sides and dessert.
Okay, there we go. So it's a potlucky kind of thing. We love doing that here. And again, sign up for Dr. Jim. Dr. Jim, see? I get that head. He used to be here, but now 3.0, Reverend Stephen, sign up for his class. Dr. Jim probably has a class somewhere online. You can sign up for that too. Let's see, what else do we got? I will be available after service if anybody wants a quick little treatment. There's a prayer box out in the lobby. If you are too shy and you just want to write something down and drop it in, then the whole prayer team will get a hold of that. And now I think it's time for our benediction. Are you ready? I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
God is doing something